companies steal your attention and what you can do about it. Many people think we're living in an information economy. They think this because many more people deal with information at work compared to manufacturing things. But an economy is based on demand for something that is in limited supply. Information is not in limited supply, it's abundant. What isn't abundant, however, is attention. Our attention is scarce and in limited supply. There are only 24 hours in a day. Instead, everything is competing for your attention. There is high demand for consumers' attention from companies, but a limited supply of it. Companies need our attention to make money. If they get our attention, they can expose us to their products that we may buy, although not necessarily immediately. But some companies aren't selling us anything. Instead, they want our attention because they can then sell it to other companies who want to sell us their product. So what do you get out of it? You get to use apps for free. Confused? Don't be. Let me explain. Did you know that it costs Facebook about $500 million to stay online? But users don't pay anything to use Facebook. So how is Facebook making enough money to pay the bills and a hefty profit? The profit last year was $4.7 billion. We can use Facebook without paying because we're exchanging our attention for the use of Facebook. Facebook then sells advertising space to companies who want our attention because they believe that by exposing us to their product, we will eventually purchase it. Getting your attention is hard though, and Facebook and others would like to make sure you pay attention to their site, and therefore the ads, habitually out of habit. So they, along with other technology giants like Apple, Google, Snapchat, and even games like Candy Crush, engineer the experience you have on their sites in an attempt to make your visits a habit. But how do they do this? They employ behavioral psychologists, designers, and programmers whose task it is to engineer your visit so that you keep coming back, even if you don't want to. Their goal is to addict you to their site. It happened to Tina. Let's take a look. I need to get dressed for work. Ding! Oh, I'll just go check this and then I'll get changed. Jen broke up with Matt again. Can't believe Desi took Kat to that new movie. I'll just take a look for the movie trailer. That actress looks familiar. What's her name? Better check IMDb. What? That witch actually sent me a friend request? Ignore. Text from Ben. Text from Marija. Travis, look at this video. Send. There's a really good deal on lipstick. Need to get to Ulta. Ben, can you take me to Ulta? Send. Crap. It's been an hour. I'm late for work. What happened to Tina? How did she lose all track of time? Why didn't she just put her phone down and get ready for work? Nur Eyal, the author of Hooked, How to Build Habit-Forming Products, will explain why. I'm going to explain what happened to Tina. I've developed a model to explain how people form habits and sometimes become addicted. It's called the Hook model. It begins with a trigger, which is the event or condition that causes the next step to occur. Some triggers are external, like the sound of Tina's phone. Others are internal, like feeling bored or lonely. This causes an action to occur. Tina reached for her phone. Here's where it gets interesting. Sometimes when Tina reaches for her phone, she's rewarded by a message or friend request or a like. But sometimes, and this is important, there isn't a friend request or a message or a like. The last step is the investment. This is something that the person does that makes them even more involved with the product. In Tina's case, she sent a video to Travis, texted Ben, ignored a request from someone she disliked, and searched for a movie. Investments generally involve effort, data, social capital, all of which were applicable to Tina. When a person updates their profile or posts photos, they not only have invested their time, they've also invested their social capital. Of course, they will come back to see who and how many people replied to their post or liked their photo. These are a few important things to understand about the process. Action has to be as easy as possible. You have to capitalize on the user's fear of missing out, and you must deliver intermittent variable rewards. It's not just social media designers that make sure that things they create are addicting. Slot machine designers do the exact same thing. This is probably why Americans spend more money on slot machines than on baseball, game parks, and movies combined. Tristan Harris often refers to cell phones as slot machines. Hi, my name's Tristan Harris. My job here at Google is design ethicist. I really believe we need to change our design so that people can live a better life. We need, for example, to develop a focus mode for Gmail. It should allow the user to pause incoming messages until they finish concentrating on a task, while still allowing for interruptions in case of emergencies. Hey, that'd be awesome. Super, great idea. Later, the decision makers met. What do you think about Tristan's focus mode project? Seriously, we got other stuff that needs to be fixed first. Yeah, you're right. Never before in history have the decisions of a handful of designers, mostly men, white, living in San Francisco, aged 25 to 35, working at just 3 companies, Google, Apple, and Facebook, had so much impact on how millions of people around the world spend their attention. We should feel an enormous responsibility to get this right. Goodbye, Google. I had to leave Google, start my own company, one that will help to transform the race for attention so it best aligns with our interests. What began as a race to monetize our attention is now eroding the pillars of society: mental health, democracy, social relationships, and our children. So, one method of escaping the addiction is to demand better design from companies. Another way is to remove yourself from the environment that the situation occurs in. In this case, it'd be to get rid of Tina's smartphone. You could also substitute another behavior. For example, if the reason that Tricia reached for her phone was to connect with other people, she could have called them individually. Other changes in behavior could also help. Let's pretend that Tina would spend hours binge watching episodes of her favorite TV show. Series episodes routinely include a cliffhanger at the 37-minute mark. The problem is not resolved until the first 10 minutes of the next episode. This is why Tina watches episode after episode. She can't stand and not know how it ends. What Tina should do is stop the episode before the cliffhanger appears. Then, the next time she watches, she can finish that episode, begin the next one where the cliffhanger is resolved, and once again stop watching before the episode 2's cliffhanger appears. The third way is the most contentious. What if we paid for services like Facebook and Google with different currency, not our attention? What if we paid for services with money? Companies would then not need to sell ads and monetize your attention. There would be no more reason to engineer the user experience to be addictive and habit-forming. This would undoubtedly create a 2-tier system, free with minimal functionalities and premium with many more functionalities. This currently works for LinkedIn. LinkedIn users paid $114 million in the first quarter of 2014 to have access to premium features. Most of the 332 million users, though, only use the free features. Tristan Harris thinks that people would pay $7 a month for a version of Facebook that empowers you to live your life without monetizing your attention with ads. Just like how many people will pay more for organic foods because they believe the quality is better, many would probably pay for an ad-free experience. Many people and organizations have already expressed concerns about the attention economy, not just Tristan Harris. Consumers must demand change from these companies, otherwise they will continue to monetize our attention regardless of the cost to society. In '97, Wired magazine predicted that because of the pervasiveness of the attention economy, people will shortchange those around them, especially children. William James was an American philosopher who believed that a person's life amounted to what he paid attention to. Do you want your life's value to amount to Facebook or Google or Twitter or Snapchat?